Hi, Yassine. Thank you so much for helping my project. I know you just got through telling me a little bit about yourself, but would you mind doing it again?
That's okay. Okay, I start doing it. My name is Yassine. I'm from Morocco. I'm 14. I'm in my grade. I've recently worked for YouTubers to edit their videos, and now I'm doing it for my own YouTube channel to upload more storytelling video gaming videos. And now I'm working on special video to explain to people how to study and become an astronaut from underdeveloped countries like mine. I've started playing recently games like Microsoft Flight Simulator or Kerbal Space program that really knows how to fly a plane and assembling rockets. I've seen your old interviews with people, and I really like it. I've also seen your old interview with my dad in 2019. It was very funny. That's it.
Yeah, it's amazing how long ago that was. I mean, I think you're 14 now, so you would have been like 9.
Yeah, I've been 9 by that time.
Yeah, I've been nine. I've been nine.
And so, has there been an astronaut from Morocco yet?
I don't think so. No.
I think there are people working in NASA from Morocco, but not really astronaut. I think they're just on the ground,
Yeah,
recognition.
I wish I will be the
Um,
first.
oh, I think you could be actually. So that'd be amazing. Maybe 10 years
Yeah,
from now.
yeah. I wish.
So what have you learned so much so far in researching your video about astronauts from undeveloped countries?
Um, I know that there is literally 1% chance to become an astronaut, but I go through it. I will try because you must have the other countries that are able to go to space nationality. Like if you want to be in NASA or ESA for Europe, you have to be a citizen of USA or one of the United European countries like France or Germany or Spain. You have to get the citizenship. You have to get to become, and you have to do competition with a lot of people, like 12,000, and they choose just 12 people, like they did in 2020. So it's really, really, really hard. You have to do studies in aeronautic engineering and also learn how to fly a plane and become a pilot if you want to get more chance to become an astronaut and achieve your goal, like I want to do. So it's hard, but I am determined, and from when I was kid, it's my dream, and I want it. I know what I want, so that's where I need, that's what I search about for my video that are coming. So
While we're on the topic of astronauts, you know the last time we had astronauts on the moon was
yeah,
1972?
so, yeah, I know. Apollo 14, if I 14,
17.
in 17.
But did you know that NASA is trying to put astronauts back on the moon?
Yeah, in 2025, Artemis 2.
Yeah, the original goal was to have them on the moon by the end of 2024, which is why I have this project counting down to the end of 2024. But actually, it looks like they just recently announced that there might be 2027. So
Oh,
Ah,
3 years from now. 2 years from now.
sure it is.
that's why it's always been a countdown to the end of 2024 because this project could have gone a lot longer if I waited until we actually went to the moon. But what do you think about that? Is that something that gets talked about, like in school or with your friends about space travel?
Friends don't really like to talk about it, they're more like, let's talk about video games. They play video games, but it's my personal passion. It's my personal passion, and it's okay. I know there is not much people in Morocco interested with it, but it's okay because it's my dream, and that's it.
I think
It's like
also
that.
so getting this passion from I think his childhood because he was getting a lot of space books from his mother. So he's learning about the planet and the system, the atmosphere system and everything. I think from that age, I think he started to learn more about it and get more passionate about this kind of
Yeah,
the full area, right?
yeah, that's it.
And it's amazing how being exposed to such content whenever you're young can help to create such a passion.
So
Oh,
Mm.
when you think about the future of humanity, if you were to look out way out into the future, do you think at some point we have people living on different planets besides Earth, or do you think we're forever just kind of stuck to Earth, making just these short trips to places?
Now with Elon Musk joining the space game, I think we have better chance to get to the moon and Mars. Other planets, I have some doubts. I'm not sure, but for the moon and Mars, I'm 100% sure in the next decades we'll get through there.
Have you seen what SpaceX is doing with Starship in terms of this huge, completely reusable rocket that they're building here in Texas that they've been testing?
Yeah, I've seen it. The Falcon 9 and the heavy no, what's the name? The one who lands back in the arm, like I don't the Starship, the big
Oh, yes,
one.
Starship. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
I've seen
I,
some launch on YouTube.
they're talking about using it for point-to-point Earth travel, so you could travel from Morocco to Texas in 30 minutes.
that would be nice. For free.
I, I know we could have done this in person. I could have come there, y'all could have come here.
Exactly.
I like to kid with people it takes 30 minutes, but then maybe it takes a couple of weeks to recover from the flight.
And
Uh,
and it turns wrong, you get around the orbit for maybe a few weeks before they get you back.
um, how long do you think it is before we have people living on other planets? Is it, you think it's something you'll see in your lifetime, or do you think it happens later?
14 no, so I think I'll watch it, but when I don't know because when people first land in the moon in the 60s, we think that we will colonize it and live in it, but due to budget issues, they stop it, and people who were living there dies. I don't know, but living there, I'm not sure.
Um, if you had somebody who was, say, 14 on Mars and 200 years from now, looking back at this video, thinking about how your world might be the same or different than their world, what would you want to share with them?
I want them to share with me what will be the next futures in technology and how it costs to live there and how it costs to go there. I want to know everything about it. But if I had something to share with them, I don't know, but because they're in the future, they know more thing about that I know. So I have literally nothing to share with them.
Well, just to test that theory a little bit, what do you know about the year 1824, 200 years ago?
1824. 1824.
18, 24, maybe something.
Because
Um,
you're from the future too, so you would know more than them.
yeah, I'm not good in history, but there were some wars and I don't remember where. So yeah, I have to share with them the important events that happened in the present.
I don't know what happened in 1824 either. But it's like and so you went to school today. What was that like?
Uh, I have a lot of friends in my class, so we do some
Um, I would say bad things.
we make our teachers angry. We do whatever we want, and we study, but there is some teachers that is not okay to do whatever we want. We don't do, we're not in class. We have fun, and that's making me happy. That's why I go to school. I will go to school to learn to get to be an astronaut and to have fun. So the fun part makes the day every day a good day. If you understand me, what I want to say.
So you said that they're like infringing, I think, the rules, right? The class
Yeah.
rules. You go and break the rules just to tease the teachers and make them a bit annoyed and angry.
The teachers give you a test, and you test the teachers.
I don't.
The teacher give you a test and you test the teacher. To attest عليك
The pressing on the rolls, the goofing around.
Yeah, we did it a lot of times.
Well, did you have any questions for me about working at NASA or anything else?
Yeah, I have a lot of questions in my mind. If you want to answer them, you'll be.
Oh,
Thanks.
yes, give them to me.
So why did you start this whole series of interviews with people about going to the moon?
Well, I think the 2020s, this decade, is going to be transformational with respect to space travel. I think whenever this decade's over with, say in 2030, we'll have a capability that we didn't have before, and people will have a completely different idea on what's possible. Similarly, like in the 1990s, whenever the internet was just getting started from a commercial perspective, that decade was transformational there. And then if you look back in like the early 1900s, with air travel, that was really transformational as well. However, if you talk to people today about air travel, like, do you think you'll fly on planes? They'll, of course, tell you yes. What do you think it'll be like? And then they'll tell you exactly what it's like to go to an airport, get on a plane, stuff like that. If you had talked to people about air travel 200 years ago, before we actually had some first test airplanes, they would probably tell you it's not possible or anything like that. So I think now is like kind of like that period of time of space travel after the Wright brothers did their first flight, but before we actually had, airports and really widely available commercial travel. So I thought it'd be kind of neat to capture people's perspectives as we go through this time. We didn't make it as far as I thought we would have by this point, but I still it's been a very interesting experience talking to people, just going up to people who are at the cafe drinking their coffee and say, "Excuse me, would you help me with my project?" A lot of them are like, "Oh my gosh, this guy's trying to sell me something," or "What's the scam?" or something like that. But a lot of people will actually talk to you, and sometimes you have interesting conversations, and it's been neat from that perspective.
How many were there by now? How many?
1,830.
Wow.
It's a lot.
I know. By the time I get done, it'll be 1,840. So, and then that's it. We'll stop right there.
So now you have only 10 left, right? Or 10
Yes.
more?
10
So you know,
more interviews. Somewhere along the way, the numbering got messed up. Either there were fewer days between the time I started the project and the end of 2024 than I thought, or what's happened sometimes is I like repeat yesterday's number in the numbering. And I think I must have done that a few times. So just to be safe, I was gonna make sure I count all the way down to one. So
funny thing is that when I showed the website to Yassine, he was really happy because saying, "Oh, he's only have 9 or 10 left." Then I be on the front page because I'm one of the last ones, so my recording might be viewed more by people.
Yeah, I know that's going to be interesting, right? Because like the last 10 would just be there on the last page. I think maybe we don't have them on the last page. I think I might redo the front and have like a little video about the project and maybe
Yeah,
some highlights from some of the videos, and then, you know, a way for people to like search or browse or stuff. What's really interesting is, you know, this project started before COVID, like in December 2019. And so
yes,
it also provided kind of like little snapshots into how the COVID epidemic kind of unfolded, and
yeah.
you know, that stuff too, and kind of a background.
I have
So what's
a
your next?
second question.
Oh, okay.
Um, why did you join the NASA?
Um, well, I've had an interest in high school. My friends and I were interested in two things: space and computers. And I graduated from high school in 1994, which was the same year that Amazon got started, the Netscape web browser went public, and a few other first things. Like in 1994 was a big inflection point for the internet. And anybody, and there's so few people that knew about computers at that time, unlike now. If you knew anything about computers, you get a job, and then you get another job and another job and another job, and it just kind of, you know, the whole interest got absorbed down the computer front. And then it was only really in like the 2010s that SpaceX started doing their stuff, reusable rockets, and increasing their frequency of flight. And then we had Artemis was announced in 2019. And, you know, so that interest in space came back up. I started this North Houston Space Society group, I think back in 2018. We have like monthly meetings, and we invite people from the community and from like industry to come, you know, and people get an update on space. So all that's happening. I'm going to like space conferences and things like that. Um, but the thing that triggered me though was I had a coworker actually die at Anaplan, not from using Anaplan. He died from other reasons. That may
So
be
the poisoned water.
yeah. And so that triggered a lot of things for me, because I realized that we
Yeah,
have no idea how long life is. And
exactly.
if you're not doing it today, you may never be doing it. And, you know, it was really silly for me to continue with sort of like the easy job. My kids were already out of the house and in college, you know, and we've kind of everything was stable. And one of my older son's friends was working at NASA, and they had some openings available. And he was like, my son was like, "Isn't this what you want to do?" And I looked at it, and it was. And in retrospect, it was really amazing timing that it worked out. What had happened was, so it takes about 2 years to train for the position that I'm in. And they had a whole bunch of people that were training. And then right before they get certified and start actually working, they get hired away by another company. And so now they're short. Um, and then on top of that, they were kind of interested in me because um, you know, I was doing it because I really wanted to work there. I'm not
Mhm.
going to get hired away by a different company. And then also the guy that was hiring, he had a similar career like me. He used to be working in like the casinos. And then whenever we had that hurricane come in like the early 2000s and wiped out
Yeah.
the casino, he went back to
Mhm.
engineering school, and then he went and got a job at NASA. And so he kind of could relate to this like mid-career change, because most people in this position get it directly out of college. Like most of my colleagues are in their 20s, uh, and so I'm like the old guy, you know. But I'm like the old guy that doesn't know anything. So I'm like, you know, like we
And
have
because
some older. we have some older people there, but they like know everything. But I'm like an older person that's like a young guy, but looks like an old guy.
You are the Santa.
Yes. Uh, but so anyway, I applied, I got the job, and it's been a lot of fun since. I've really enjoyed it. It's a perfect time that I had gotten hired because they're planning to. I work on the space station program. Our team is responsible for the solar arrays and the electrical power system, and then also the external thermal control system and the radiators. And the space station is planned to be deorbited in 2031. So they'll attach this, spaceship to it, slow it down, and then essentially have it burn up in the Earth's atmosphere, and the remaining parts will crash in the southern Pacific. So they're already winding down kind of like the training for this position. Like whenever I got hired, I think that year we had something like 15 trainees, and this coming year we're only going to have 4. So I really, it was really perfect timing. I don't think it would have worked out if I applied now. So, but that's kind of it.
Oh, good.
I have another question if you want.
Sure.
In the NASA, what's your role?
Yeah, so I work in flight operations. So the space station is a big, complicated machine, but you could think of it as, maybe like a ship at sea, and you have all these different people that are responsible for different parts of a ship. You have the person that's responsible for navigating, and the person that's responsible for communicating between the bridge and the engine room, and then you have like the person that's responsible for making the engines are working, and the person that's responsible for communications with other ships. So just like that, the space station has a whole bunch of different people that are trained to operate parts of it. So my group is responsible for the solar arrays, making sure that we keep them safe from any type of dynamic loading from the thrusters of vehicles either coming or leaving, from thermal loading from like the shadow and light, and then also making sure that they're pointing towards the sun most of the time, so that they're generating power, and then storing that power in batteries, and then distributing that power down to all the different pieces of equipment. The equipment to run the space station, like the communications equipment, the gyroscopes to keep it oriented in space, the equipment inside of the space station to keep the astronauts healthy and alive, and then all the science that we do as well. And then making sure that we keep the power generation and storage in balance with the power that's needed. In addition to that, the International Space Station is about 200 miles up, and there the atmosphere is extremely, extremely thin. It's so thin it's almost, I would say, a vacuum, but unfortunately not exactly a vacuum because it hits enough air particles that slows it down, and it drops like, over time we have to boost it and make it go back up. But in order to get rid of heat, we have to use radiation. So, and the way that works is you have like these big plates, and whenever you put heat through them, they're generating electromagnetic waves that allow that heat to dissipate out. And then we have a system that goes and circulates this fluid. It's actually ammonia between all the things that generate the heat and these radiators. And we have to keep them at the right temperature and be prepared to respond to any type of leak or any type of failure. So most of the stuff we do is planned out, and we support that. And then any type of unexpected things, like I don't know if you ever had it at your house where maybe you plugged in too many things into a wall socket and then the breaker flips, and then you have to go out and flip the breaker back. So we do a lot of that too. So sometimes, of course, we can't go up in the space station to do it, so it's all done remotely. We have to see did it just flip off because of some random event, or that won't happen again, or probably won't happen again, or did it switch off because there's a short, and that short might cause a fire, and we really shouldn't flip it back. So that type of thing. Lots of diagnosis and planning and all sorts of good stuff. It's a lot of fun. It's really very much in the weeds in the sense that it's like, can you imagine having a car where one person does the steering, another person does the shifting, and another person does the acceleration, and another person does the brake, and then you all have to talk together to make the car go down the road?
Must be a test.
That's what the flight operations is like. So
Yeah, and talking about that, just a quick question about, I mean, those batteries do they have like a life cycle, like the ones we use for our cars? And do we need to replace them from time to time?
well, originally we started out with nickel hydrogen batteries, like they're the same type of batteries you have in your well, similar to the ones that you have in like your car, like um, gasoline cars, I guess. But they've been replaced with lithium ion batteries, like what you have in your laptop. And they've been performing really, really well. We are very careful to keep them at just the right temperature. And then very careful to keep the charge levels fairly in the higher range so that uh, we used to do like capacity testing to see how the capacity changed over time, but they've been performing so well that that's really not something that we've been inclined to do.
Okay.
They should. I would be surprised if we have any major problems between now and 2031.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, so I think we should be good.
The other question, maybe last question.
And the last question
Well,
is
can I ask a quick question? Not a quick question. But I know that you are from a background of mathematics and physics, right? I mean, your initial studies, you were in mathematics, right?
Mathematics, yeah. And that's the thing is, for this job, like the minimum qualifications is like a degree in math or degree in engineering or degree in like science or some technical subjects. So you just need like a base level science technical education, and then they train you on everything else. So, I mean, I don't think I could have gotten into this job with art history or with uh, uh, gymnastics or something like that. But pretty much, I could have gotten into it in pretty much any technical subject, just to kind of being able to talk about technical ideas and things. I guess precisely is the key.
Yeah, because I'm trying to highlight the importance of studying mathematics and becoming excellent in mathematics to Yassine. I've been hammering on that one several times. I think now is the opportunity for you to highlight that to him because if he wants to fulfill his dream, I think the only way is to get through this kind of technical studies and be very excellent in mathematics or physics, all kind of technical domains that could help him to achieve his dream, right?
I definitely, I think mathematics and physics are great, but I think it's less important the math itself or the physics itself, and it's more important like the concept of taking a big problem and be able to break it down into its fundamental parts, into little parts, and then be able to put them together. I think that problem solving skill is the most important thing, and then to be able to communicate how you solve the problem to somebody else, so they can check your work and understand it and maybe implement it. I mean, like for example, sometimes we need the astronauts to do stuff, and some of that stuff they can't be trained on everything. So we have to be able to break things down into specific steps for them to be able to follow. And you always have unexpected things happen, like the screw won't come out, these wires won't connect, you know. So
can I ask the last question? Um, do you think that I have a chance to achieve my dream from where I am, or it sounds like it's too much unrealistic?
what do you think about New Zealand?
Because, yeah, it's far away. It's near to Australia.
It's true, but do you think of it as a big country?
No, it's a very small country.
Do you think of it as a highly developed country?
I don't know. Maybe
I like, how would you compare it with like the United States or Russia or China?
it's a huge difference between them.
And what's the difference between Morocco and New Zealand?
Uh, Likely the same. I, I don't know.
And New Zealand is the place where Peter Beck founded Rocket Labs. And Rocket Labs is the second private space company to actually put anything in orbit. And there used to be this joke that how do you become a millionaire? Well, you start out as a billionaire, and then you start a rocket company. And then by the time you're done with that, you're down to $1 million. But Peter Beck may be the first person that actually started a rocket company and became a billionaire. But I tell you that because it's really surprising that that started in New Zealand. Um, maybe it's not surprising for people in New Zealand, but I mean, from being in my part of the world, I'm not that closely familiar with it. But I don't know what the New Zealanders think about this, but I'm like, if New Zealand can do it, Morocco can do it too. That's kind of where my head's at.
That's a good mindset. And I try to implement it.
But I think, the thing is, there's no path that's already been made for you, but that doesn't mean you can't make your own path. And then other people can follow you.
Yeah. I understand what you're trying to say to me, because I have heard a lot of people saying that, but not when it comes from you. I implement it very well in my mind, because you're an NASA engineer, so you're not like them to me. If you understand, I don't know, but okay.
Now, I will tell you, countries like the United Arab Emirates, the UAE, and I think there's a couple of other countries. They wanted to have astronauts. And instead of starting a space program, they actually paid a company called Axiom Space to take their people and send them to the International Space Station. That's also another path that's there. Okay, this is going to sound ridiculous, but it's also maybe not so. For $40 million, you can become an astronaut.
10 million.
40 million.
Can you get that?
I try.
Yeah.
10 years maybe.
But you know that there's some ways that will possibly get you there, and there's some ways that won't get you there, right? So, like, to get $40 million, you pretty much need to start a company. That's like, to be able to get that much money, you have to pretty much start a company, and it needs to be really successful or sell it or something.
I think I can do both. I can do studies and company. So I have
Absolutely.
two options to become natural.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, the key part to succeeding is not accepting failure.
Mm.
That's a good saying, yeah.
So that just means that every failure is a learning opportunity, and that you just have to like say, I want to get there, and I'll try this, and then maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. If it doesn't work, what did I learn from it? How can I apply that into my next try? And you keep iterating and keep getting closer. Sometimes it's hard to see you're getting closer. Sometimes to get closer, you have to get farther away, which is kind of ironic. But the key part is, being determined. Determination is the key. Yeah. And if you're determined to get something, you will figure out a way. That will happen. I know because I've had 2 kids. And I've told them no, no, no. If they're determined, they somehow make it happen. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for inviting me and for answering to all my questions.
Well,
Thank
it
you
was
so
a
much.
pleasure to see you. I hope someday that y'all can make it here to Houston, and I hope even more someday I can make it to Morocco, because I would love to see where the country that y'all live in and where y'all live and everything.
You are welcome, Nathan, whenever you come here.
Okay, remember you said that. I got video proof.
Oh, no, no, I said that. I will sign it.
Well, awesome. Well, thank you all so much. It's such a pleasure to get to talk to you, and thanks for reaching out, Red One.
Thank you very much to you. It's really kind of you to step out, yeah, quickly and yeah, get us on that meeting. Really nice of you. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Thank you. Happy New Year and happy holidays, and we'll be in touch.
Take care. Bye bye.
Bye bye.